Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video. As I'm making this video, it's the 14th of October, which means if I was to guess, I'd probably say Scream Fortress is around 1 week away. Does this mean we're going to see new unusual effects, or will we be able to uncrate old unusual effects like we were last year? It's still kind of a mystery to everyone, but to kind of commemorate this and to kind of like get us in that spooky mood once again, I'm going to be counting down the most expensive Halloween unusuals. Well, to an extent. Essentially how this works is I went onto backpack.tf and looked at the most expensive unusual effects. I picked out the most expensive hat for each effect, and then that's how this works. So it's like the most expensive Halloween unusuals for each effect, if that makes sense. So I've got 10 here. There were a few rules I kind of made when I was making this, and one of them was one of each hat. If I didn't do that rule, this list would have been full of Crone's domes and coffin kits and nothing else. So to kind of like save you guys from that and having a different hat on every single effect, that's the rule we went with. And the other rule is that there's only one hat per effect, so this isn't going to be like 10 Dark Blaze or 10 Spellbound or anything like that. It's literally one hat per effect and no repetitions of effect or hats, just to kind of keep the list fresh, so there's a lot of variation in the list. Also, I want to apologise if the editing or the quality or anything is slightly different to usual. I'm not actually home right now, so I don't have my normal editing software, my normal recording software, and as you probably saw at the start, the background gameplay was very kindly provided to me by various YouTubers, so apologies if the quality or like the editing isn't quite up to scratch. I just really wanted to get a video out there for you guys. So without further ado, let's get straight into the list. So the most expensive unusual effect and the most expensive hat for that is Spellbound. The most expensive hat for this is the Crone's Dome. Now a Spellbound Crone's Dome is priced at 2,435 keys, which equates to roughly $5,348 if we're using the built-in backpack.tf converter. That isn't actually the most expensive hat on the list, but as I said, it's the most expensive hat for the Spellbound effect, which is why it's on the list. Obviously, the Crone's Dome is an all-class hat. The vast majority of hats in this video, or miscs, are all-class, excluding one or two, and you guys are going to see that shortly. But yeah, the Crone's Dome is a sick hat. Spellbound is probably my favourite unusual effect. In terms of Halloween effects anyway, just because I love the colours, and I think if you're going to combo it, it really does combo well with most effects, so it's definitely up there on the list for me. The second most expensive unusual effect is It's a Secret to Everybody, which is like this big black cloud with like this skull that peers through the clouds and occasionally gets red glowing eyes. The most expensive hat for this effect, or is actually a misc, is going to be the Secret to Everybody coffin kit, which is priced currently at 2,850 keys, which is roughly $6,250. However, there's one currently selling on backpack.tf for 4,500 keys, and the only reason I mention this is because the 2,850 key price is like 2 years outdated, so if we're going from what people want for them, yeah, it's 4,500 keys on backpack.tf classifieds, which is about $9,885, so nearly 10k to pick up the Secret to Everybody coffin kit, which is crazy. But yeah, the coffin kit itself is super limited, as you guys probably know. It can't be unboxed, it hasn't been able to be unboxed for ages, so these things are very, very low in numbers, and of course it's one of the only unusual pyro miscs as well, so very crazy unusual there. Coming in at number 3, we have Harvest Moon, which is, for those of you who don't know, this like green Halloween cloud, which is, I mean, in itself, I think those like old Halloween effects where it's like Stormy 13th Hour, Secret to Everybody, Harvest Moon, etc., where it's like coloured clouds, were so sick, and it would be so cool to see something like that again, like a variation of Stormy Storm or something where the clouds are just different colours or different stuff falling out of them, like with Knife Storm. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. The Harvest Moon most expensive unusual is the Killer Exclusive. Now the Killer Exclusive comes in at 2,100 keys in Harvest Moon, which is roughly $4,613. Now I believe as Harvest Moon goes, the Killer Exclusive wasn't the most expensive, but the most expensive item that was Harvest Moon has already been featured in the list, so that's why we're talking about the Killer Exclusive. The Killer Exclusive is like arguably the most expensive all-class hat, I'd say, for most effects. Like the Burning Flames Killer Exclusive is notorious for that. And I think the 2100 key price point of a killer exclusive with Harvest Moon is definitely very steep, but once again it's like one of the highest tier Halloween effects with the highest tier all class hat, so you can definitely expect it to be pretty expensive. The fourth most expensive Halloween effect is Arcana, which is the Spellbound variant that's green. I've never really thought about this before, but I find it interesting that Spellbound and Arcana are obviously purple and green, and then the energies are both purple and green, and then Starstorm Insomnia and Starstorm Slumber are purple and green. Like, Valve seems to love introducing these purple and green combos. But anyway, the Arcana most expensive unusual is the Virtual Viewfinder, which comes in at 1,875 keys, or $4,118. Now, the Virtual Viewfinder is of course an all-class misc, meaning you can wear this on any class with any hats, meaning if you want to combine green Arcana with green energy, then you can just get an all-class Arcana hat. I just think it's crazy, like, the Virtual Viewfinder is always super high tier, and it's always really wanted. There's always people that want to buy these Virtual Viewfinders, which kind of explains the high price point on most effects. But yeah, definitely a sick unusual to have, an all-class misc with Arcana. What more could you ask for? Coming in at the midpoint of the list, we have the first of the three triple effects, being Dark Blaze, Hellfire, and Demon Flame. We have Dark Blaze, and the most expensive Dark Blaze unusual for this list is the Antlers, which come in at 1,850 keys, or roughly $4,063. Now, very similar to the Virtual Viewfinder, the Antlers are of course an all-class misc, meaning you can wear this on any class and combine it with any hat. I feel like I'd kind of prefer the Virtual Viewfinder because the Antlers just look kind of out of place in a lot of loadouts, you know. It's kind of hard to make a serious, nice looking loadout where all the cosmetics flow when you have like antlers sticking out of the character's head, so that's kind of why I prefer the Virtual Viewfinder. But nonetheless, an all-class misc with the Dark Blaze effect. Once again, an all-class misc with a high tier Halloween effect. There's really not a huge amount more you can ask for. Coming in at number 6 on the list, a kind of cheaper one now, we have the Knife Storm Mask of the Shaman. The Knife Storm Mask of the Shaman comes in at 750 keys, which is roughly $1,647. Now, the Mask of the Shaman is a Demo Man hat. Many people believe it's a misc, and it had misc hype for a while, meaning everyone was investing in these thinking Valve is going to make it a misc. But it never really happened, so this thing kind of stagnated in price. 750 keys for the Knife Storm variant though is kind of steep, but again, this is a retired unusual, so none of these are ever going to be unboxed again. The hat in itself is very peculiar. It's like a mask with this like red sticking out hair. It's kind of an obscure hat, which may explain like why there's not a huge amount of hype around it at the moment, and a lot of them are being bought. It's just due to how rare and like how hard these things are to get your hands on that makes it so expensive. At number 7 on the list, we have Bonzo the All-Gnawing, which is, once again, probably my favourite unusual effect in terms of Halloween. Bonzo and Spellbound have definitely got to be up there for me, and that even shows by the fact I used to own a Bonzo the All-Gnawing Virtual Viewfinder, which is probably one of the favourite unusuals I've ever owned. But we're getting sidetracked again. The Bonzo the All-Gnawing most expensive unusual is a Bonzo the All-Gnawing Polar Pullover, which once again is an all-class misc. This thing comes in at 1,200 keys, or $2,636, meaning this is a pretty steep price to pay. I believe when I sold my Viewfinder it was like 1,000-ish, so the Polar Pullover has just trumped it in terms of price. But once again, I may be a little biased. I do definitely prefer the Viewfinder to the Polar Pullover. But then again, once you have an all-class misc with the Bonzo the All-Gnawing effect, you really can't complain how it looks. Bonzo is so sick, and it really does combo with a lot of effects well. Like, you can combo Bonzo with near enough anything and it won't look out of place. The 8th most expensive Halloween unusual effect is Poison Shadows, and the most expensive Poison Shadows hat, which is actually the cheapest hat on the list, is the Poison Shadows Brotherhood of Arms, which is 600 keys, or $1,318. Now, I actually owned the Something Burning This Way Comes counterpart, which was around 300 or so keys when I bought it, and it's such a sick effect. Like, the way the flames kind of leave behind as opposed to how they do with burning and scorching looks really good in game, and it like leaves a trail. It's literally like a slightly smaller version of burning which stays behind for longer, which is why I thought Something Burning This Way Comes was so nice. And a purple version of that is even better. Like, imagine a purple version of burning or scorching. That would be stupidly high tier. But the Brotherhood of Arms is of course an all-class hat, so you really can't go too wrong with this thing. And for just 600 keys, making it the cheapest item on the list, it's really not too bad of an investment. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have Hellfire, and unfortunately Demon Flame didn't make it onto the list, so it was just Dark Blaze and Hellfire. But the most expensive Hellfire unusual is a Hong Kong cone, which comes in at 830 keys or $1,823. Now once again, I love the Hong Kong cone as a hat. I think on near enough every class it looks sick, and obviously Hellfire is a really nice effect as well. You can combo it with a lot of things. It's just a really nice hat in general, and you can make some really sick loadouts with this thing. And coming in at the number 10 spot, guys, the last effect, the 10th most expensive Halloween effect, is Stormy 13th Hour. And I really wasn't expecting this. I was expecting 13th to be way higher up on the list. But the most expensive Stormy 13th Hour unusual that hasn't been featured on the list so far is a Villain's Veil, which comes in slightly more expensive than the Brotherhood of Arms at 615 keys or $1,350. Now the Villain's Veil is of course a sniper exclusive misc, meaning you can't use this on any class like you can for most of them. However, it's a misc, which means you can combo that Stormy 13th Hour with any hat that you get for the sniper. And you can make some really nice loadouts with Stormy 13th Hour. It's like a purple cloud, it has near enough the same skull as It's a Secret to Everybody. And you can make some really nice combos with this thing. The Villain's Veil as a cosmetic is really nice in my opinion as well. As you guys know, I love the Bruiser's bandana as a misc, and it's literally just a sniper exclusive version of that. It's like the renowned edgy cosmetic for the sniper, it's like this bandana that covers the lower half of his face. But guys, that is just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. Once again, thank you for sticking with me if you made it this far through the horrendous editing and probably poorer quality than my normal videos. I just want to learn this new software and thought this would be a pretty good opportunity to do so. Leave a like if you enjoy, guys, let me know your thoughts down below, and peace.